Hello there. The great and good, the wealthy and the powerful will all soon be descending on Egypt for the biggest show of hypocrisy on the planet that is COP27. Now, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and then like and comment below. And welcome to the show. And what have we got in store for you today? More net zero, more on the English Channel red carpet and its hotel visitors, and more on the plans to tax us into oblivion from the the Conservative Party government. So there's soon going to be an invasion of gravy trains, boats, planes and gas guzzlers descending on El-Sheik in Egypt, carrying the planet's wealthiest and most powerful people, together with their lick-spittle hangers-on, all there at the COP27 meeting to work out the next set of bleak and miserable rules they're going to impose on the rest of us. But first, they've all been coming to the UK today, so that King Charles III can also stick his oar into proceedings. Yes, these people will be stomping all over us with their very own Yeti-sized carbon footprints, while berating us for wanting to own a car and heat our homes. But worse than that, many of those national leaders there will be representing countries that are sparking up their coal-fired electricity generating capacity, all while they bleat about going green. That's right, they can't get enough gas because of the Russia-Ukraine war, and the green energy sector in their countries haven't the muscle to step up to the plate, so they're going for coal. It's a pity the UK isn't as well. While our very own Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, who was going to sit this one out so as to concentrate on pressing domestic issues, has obviously received his marching orders from some faceless suit and told to get on board the jet and commit the UK to more economic self-harm. It even had to be squeezed out of number 10 today that the PM is still committed to the new nuclear reactor Sizewell C. And Euronews.com reports that Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Greece and Hungary have all announced plans to extend the lifetime of coal plants, reopen those that have been closed, or lift the cap on coal burning hours. So much for net zero then. Although these countries will all claim that they'll make up for their carbon output today, further down the line nearer 2050. But they'll be shown to be stupid if they do, because they're just delaying and making worse the pain their citizens will feel. Not because they need to feel that pain, but because the eco-loons have decided that's to be the way. And the International Energy Agency says that coal use in the EU has increased by 10% in the first half of this year, and you can bet that will increase markedly over the upcoming winter. Oh, and the IEA says that Germany is the worst culprit. Then there's all those wood pellets that get burned in the EU and the UK to get electricity generated. Sounds to me like the whole COP27 agenda is toast from the get-go, and that a lot of carbon, money and hot air could be saved if the whole lot of them stayed at home. And then the politicians among them could just get on looking after their own people. That, after all, is supposedly their core task. Now, the Scotsman reports that the last COP in Glasgow, COP26, emitted some 102,500 tonnes of CO2. And 60% of that came from the flights involved. And that was twice the emissions of COP25. Now, according to the organisers of these COP events, they're meant to be carbon neutral. But then they do tell us that any carbon overspent will be offset by purchasing things like certified emissions reductions. That's fancy talk for the rich and powerful buying their way out of trouble. But it won't be them paying, it'll be us. And looking at the report, this seems only to apply to the event itself, not all the transport like jetliners and the like. What an unforgivable example of us being forced to kowtow to the power-hungry, privileged and self-entitled few. All backed up by those wet eco-loons supergluing themselves to anything they can think of. And the reaction by the authorities in the UK to them raises many, many questions. Well, here's what ordinary people do to eco-loons in Rome. A bit of line dancing by the looks of things. They're not putting up with it, and more drivers just got out of their cars and cleared the way bit by bit, and in the end the road was cleared. And I do hope those protesters left in the central reservation at the end were stuck there for a long, long time. So the new Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his Chancellor Jeremy Hunt are about to unleash a whole lot of tax misery on us, especially anyone with more than 2 brass farthings to rub together. And it looks like corporation tax is going to be further attacked, and capital gains tax is going to be squeezed, and the talk is all about hitting entrepreneurs, savers and landlords. But small business is the one that will suffer the most as far as I can see. What's going to happen when they are forced to rein in on their headcount spend, or cut back on their suppliers, or maybe even shut up shop for good? But these sorts of things are approved of by the left. Find anyone who's accumulated anything and smack 'em with a tax. But right now, it's the Tory government that's doing this. All because these people are perceived to be the ones with the broadest shoulders. Well, we might find that some of those shoulders have already been forced to carry too much of the burden. How many small business owners right now have their backs to the wall because they feel they have to do the right thing by their employees? But how long can they last as they deny themselves and their businesses funding? The talk is they'll lose their £2,000 dividend tax threshold and see a rise of 6% in tax. How would ordinary income taxpayers react if they were ordered to pay an extra 6%? But the real problem we have is that however red Rishi and Jeremy go, Keir Starmer's Labour would be far, far worse. And now a bit on our hotel-bound visitors. With Kent school places drying up and ever more hotels being commandeered, have you ever wondered why so little is being done about it? Well, Richard has an idea, so I'll hand you over to him.
Thank you, Jeff, and good evening. The silvery damp patch on the bed that passes as our Prime Minister might be about to save us from the criminal element flooding across the English Channel. Yes, that's right. For some time, the obscenely wealthy globalist Goldman Sachs WEF stooge with a suspicious Thunderbird walk has been enthusiastic about a more controllable and monitorable digital currency. But the great unwashed haven't had the stomach for it. Until now, that is. I mean, what better way to get the people nice and reset with digital ID and digital currency than offering them the solution to the hordes of young male overseas guests flocking to our hotels? After all, the overly represented, not-so-wholesome criminal contingency are only coming here to make money from unsavoury means, which they are then sending back to their families in other countries. And you can bet your high-vis life jacket that this money will be sent in the form of cash. And little Incy Wincy Rishi has had the answer to this dilemma for some time, although he did say this new digital currency, called Britcoin, would work alongside cash. And apparently a pig farmer's wife from Gloucester called Krusty Nell believed him. Ah, bless you, Nell, bless you. So, my dear friends, get ready for Rishi to make good on his promise, as he introduces a new digital currency, and abolishes cash by the back door, and limits access to funds based on your social credit score. So much wonderful authoritarian control to look forward to. Oh wait, did you think the lack of action to stop the crossings has been down to incompetence or lack of will to tackle the issue? Did you really think the European Court of Human Rights was the problem? Oh dear, no, we could have left that ages ago. Why, considering the magnitude of the problem this country is facing from an unrestricted flow of persons, didn't we leave the Court of Human Rights? I'll leave you to discuss this in the comment section below. Anyway, back over to Jeff.
Well, thank you for that, Richard. And finally, when subscribing, please don't forget to press that little bell and also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. And thank you all so much for taking the time to watch the show.